Hi Year 11 and welcome to your lesson on exercise 8.04, which is on dot plots and stem and leaf plots. So dot plots are used for small sets of numerical data that are close together. So like this example here, temperature. While we use our stem and leaf plots for larger sets of numerical data, and we actually can list the actual data values with this. So with this first example, it's talking about the daily minimum temperature in degrees Celsius in Cairns in July for 15 days. So it wants us to construct a dot plot for this data. So when we look at this, we want to find our highest value and our lowest value, and then we want to go one on either side of it. So we have got our highest value is going to be 32, so I'm just going to put a little H under there. And our lowest value, I believe, is going to be 25. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a straight horizontal line, and I'm going to put an arrow on either side because it can go on like below and above the temperatures displayed. And we're going to label it as temperature. And then in brackets, we're going to put degrees Celsius because they're our units. I'm then going to put one below my lowest, and then I'm going to go one above my highest. And then you guys are going to use a ruler, so it's going to look much nicer than mine, but you're going to go 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So these all should be evenly spaced. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a dot for how many times each temperature shows up. So 32. So at 32, I'm going to put a dot. Then we've got 30, 31. So 30, 31, 32, 31, 32, 31, 30, 31, 30, 31. Then we have 1, 2, 3 31s. So 1, 2, 3. And when you're doing dot plots, you might like to just use, like if you're doing it in your notebook, use the lines as your spacing just to make it look really nice and neat. We've then got a 29, and then we've got a 25, 28, 25, 28, then 27, 29. 29. And that's our dot plot done. So we can see that over these 15 days that were recorded in July of the temperature in Cairns for the maximum, that there was one day of 25, one of 27, one of 28, 2 of 29, 30 and 32, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 6 of 31. So really small sets of numerical data where they're close together like this. You don't want them too spread out. So that one's pretty straightforward. If we move on to our next example, we're going to look at a stem and leaf plot. So Sarah works for law enforcement and recorded the number of malicious property damage reports in the inner city each month over 3 years. So we have a whole heap of data here and we want to create an ordered stem and leaf plot. So our stem, we're going to write our heading stem. Our stem is our first number. So in this case, they're all like 50, 40, 90. So there's none that are single digits and none that are 3 digits. So what our stem is representing is that first number. Now, say it did go up to 100, our stem would then go to 10. So our leaf, which goes over this part, is only recording the last number. So when we look at this, we've got 50s, 40s, 30s. So I think 30s are our lowest. And then we've also got 90 as our largest. So I'm going to go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, this is like our tens column. So this is for 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. Now, stem and leaf plots can be a little fiddly because we need it to go in the correct order. So I'm not going to do it because it's going to take a really long time, but like say for our 30s, you might go through and go, well, I've got 37, there's another 37, I've got a 38, and then a 38. So that's already in order, so that's perfect. So the way we read this is like 3, 7 is 37, 3, 8 is 38. Let's do the 40s and see how it turns out. So we've got a 41, a 49, 48, 44, 44, 46, 45, 43, 6, 49, 45, and that's it, I believe. Now, you can see that that's not in order, and that's not what we want. So you could just say off to the side or in pencil, you can write out those numbers, and then what you want to do is you want to put them in order. So I'm actually going to go back and rub all of this out so that I can put it in order. So go back to my pen. So it's going to go 1, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. Oops, there's some bad spacing going on here. And you want to just leave spaces between them so it's not read as one number. 6, 6, 8, 9, 9. I'm then going to do my 50s. So I've already done this, but on a separate bit of paper. So pretend I've written them all down off to the side, and then I've organized them into order. So I've got 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 8. And again, this is written as 51, 53, 58. So you do your stem as your first number and then your leaf as your second number. For 60, I have 0, 2, 3, 6, 6, and 7. For 7, I just have 70. 8, there's none in the 80s, so we just leave it blank. We don't need to write anything next to that stem. And 90, there is a 0. Now, an important thing you need to remember to do with stem and leaf plots is down the bottom, you write key. And so you're just going to write something like 3 line 7 equals 37. And that's just so people definitely know they're reading your stem and leaf plot correctly. So that's it for dot plots and stem and leaf plots. I'm going to get you to work through some of these questions in this exercise. If you have any trouble, let me know.